Well, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Dave. And today I'm going to be preparing some pizza sauce and then spicing up some ground beef that we'll put on the pizza later. The grandkids are coming over to get their Christmas stockings that Santa left here for them. And so we'll have pizza with the grandkids and then do some late Christmas or post-Christmas celebrating. So let's get going on. I've got my pot right here. I've got some olive oil that is heating up on the stove right now. And then to that olive oil, I am going to add 1/2 of an onion, 1/2 of a large onion. So we'll just go ahead and empty that in here and give it a little stir. Now, to that onion, while it's cooking, I am going to add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, some sugar, about 1 tablespoon. This is sucrose. I'm using that in place of sugar. 1 tablespoon of sugar. That takes the bite out of the acid of the tomato sauce that we'll be adding after the onion has cooked up a little bit. So we'll just let that keep cooking. And now to that I'm going to add a little bit of oregano. I don't measure. I don't know if you can see there, it's about that much oregano I'm going to put in there. And then we'll go with some basil. And here's the basil. Oh, that's a little bit too much. About that much basil. And then some thyme. Okay, about that much thyme in the palm of my hand. Okay, now we'll just mix all that in. Let all that cook together for a little while. This is a very simple recipe to make your own pizza sauce. It's based on the spaghetti sauce we make. So that's coming along real nice. Just put that in there again, let that cook. And we just use 1 can of tomato sauce. So, let's give this another stir. Those onions look great. All those spices are smelling great. So now we'll just pour this in. Now I hate to leave a little bit of sauce in the can, so I just add a little bit of water to it. Add a little bit of water to the can, swish it around to get out all the rest of that tomato sauce that is in there. Okay, now we'll give this a little stir. And we'll bring it to a boil. Okay, now while that is getting ready to boil, I'm going to start getting ready to do our ground beef. And this was a 3-pound package. I want about 1.5 pounds. So let's see. If I go about halfway and then reduce, so take off a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's about 1.5 pounds of ground beef that I'll be using to make my spicy ground beef for the pizza. Grandkids don't like anything on their pizza other than cheese, so they will have a cheese pizza. or a half a cheese pizza really, because that's about all they'll eat. And then we're going to make 2 other pizzas. I also make my own sauce, and I will probably, my own sauce, my own dough. And I will probably also do a video when I get my dough going in my bread machine. So that's coming to a light boil now. And what I want to do is I want to move this over onto the smaller burner. We'll put that burner on about, 1.5, so it can continue to simmer there. And I'm going to move my pan over here. And now, where did I put my lid? There's the lid. We'll just cover over that sauce and let it simmer there for a while. Okay, now, this pan is starting to heat. I'm putting it on about 7. And get the knife I used for cutting open the package. And we'll just break this apart, throw it in the pan. It's been on there long enough already, it's starting to sizzle. And this is also a very simple recipe. You could do this with ground pork. You could also buy your own ground pork that's already spiced up, but we like the ground beef and like to spice it up ourselves so that it comes out how we like it. Alright, now let me just wash my hands. Okay, yeah, I did reserve a little bit of the onion that I had in before, so I'm just going to add that little bit of onion to the ground beef here. And I see that there's still a little bit of onion in here, so don't want to waste the goodness of that onion. So here we go. All right. Now, just going to chop this up more to get it into smaller bits as it dries up here. Goes. All right, and it's already starting to brown up nicely here. Okay, we'll just put that there. When we drain our ground beef, we just put it into a pan like this. A can like that. And then refrigerate it. When the can gets full, then we toss the whole thing. You don't want to pour grease down your kitchen sink. That just tends to clog up drains a little bit, and you don't want the expense of a plumber because you drained your grease down the drain. Alright, so this is browning up here, and we'll just let that brown. Today's December 29th, and my mom is celebrating her 96th birthday up in Michigan, and many of the family members are up there right now because they live in Michigan. We live in Kentucky, so we're not able to be there today, but at the end of the month we'll be going up to celebrate Christmas. We'll be celebrating it about a month late, but that's okay. It's always nice to extend the holiday a little bit. So, while this continues to brown up, let me just look back in my camera and say, happy birthday, Mom. And I hope one of my brothers or sisters will show her this video, and I'm wishing her a happy 96th birthday. All right. This is browning up nicely. It's still got a little bit of red in it, which is okay, because it's going to continue to cook, but I'm going to push all of that up to the top of the pan here. And then just tip my pan and use this little spoon to take off the grease. It's always amazing how much grease shows up when you cook up the ground beef. This is 80-20 ground beef. So I guess that means there's 20% fat in it and 80% ground beef. Okay, we're almost done here. I think I'm going to do one more scoop. All right, there's a little bit of grease left in there, but that's all right. Okay, now, we'll just let that continue frying up, and I will add my spices to this now. So it's the same spices as before. A little bit of oregano. I just use the palm of my hand, and that's about how much oregano I'll put in there. I always crush it up between my fingers. Oh, wrong cap. Okay. Now, a little bit of thyme. Oh, that's too much thyme. Okay, there we go. That's about how much thyme I put in there. And then basil. Now, there might not be enough basil left in here. Let's see. No, there's just a little bit of basil there. So where did I put that other thing of basil? I thought I pulled it out. Well, no, I didn't. Let's see, where's the basil? There's the basil. Take off this protective cover. And we'll put about that much more basil in. Okay, now we want to just kind of mix this all together. Oh, that looks really good now. Okay, and just like to sweeten it a little bit, so about a quarter tablespoon of sugar or the sucrose in there, just to put a little bit of sweetness in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got our pizza sauce going in the pot here. Okay, and that's simmering nicely. I'm going to turn that down a little bit more. We've got our ground beef here going, and I'm going to just take that out of the pan. There, look at that goodness. So a little bit dropped on the floor for tags. Tags will be along shortly. And scoop that right up. Okay, there we go. So, put this on over the burner as it cools off. And here is what that ground beef mixture looks like after doing it. It's all spiced up. Let's take a little taste of it. Perfect. That is going to make some mighty fine pizza. So, right now it's about 10 to 1 or 10 to 2. I'm going to start the pizza dough about 3:30. Yeah, 3:30. It'll be done about 5 then. And then we can start putting the pizza together whenever we have the grandkids over. So, for this episode of Cooking with Dave, we've made up some pizza sauce and then some spicy ground beef for putting in our pizza. So, we'll see you next time on Cooking with Dave.